Item: SCP-1069. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures: the area within a 5 km radius of SCP-1069-1 has been marked as off-limits to civilian access under the guise of environmental chemical contamination, and all Foundation staff located on site are to operate under the cover of an environmental cleanup organization. Exploration or experimentation with SCP-1069-1 may only be performed with prior permission from at least 2. Level 3 senior researchers and all personnel within the area must wear full soundproof ear protectors or modulated sound processing headsets at all times. Any individuals attempting to enter this area without authorization, appropriate acoustic protection, or in an attempt to communicate with SCP-1069-3 without prior permission are to be detained, questioned, and administered a Class B amnestic if deemed necessary. Description: SCP-1069-1 is a submerged city 3 km off of the coast of Redacted, France at a depth of approximately 220 meters. SCP-1069-1 covers an area of approximately 4.8 square kilometers and is surrounded by a high dike constructed of bronze and redacted, indicating that it may have once been a coastal city. Dating of recovered artifacts and materials indicate that SCP-1069 is at least 1,500 years old, and surveys of the intact sections of the city indicate that it would have been one of the largest cities of its era, in addition to containing architecture and high-strength construction that exceeds the technological capabilities of any known civilization of the time. Recovered artifacts have also revealed written script belonging to what has been tentatively identified as a previously unknown Breton or Brythonic language. Extensive analysis of the city's buildings has revealed damage consistent with a large-scale tsunami and subsequent flooding. Due to a lack of damage to the city's exterior dike, it is unknown precisely what this event entailed, as a wave of sufficient height to crest the walls would presumably have been of sufficient magnitude to result in far more catastrophic damage to the city itself. SCP-1069-2 is a population of intangible human entities inhabiting SCP-1069-1, currently estimated in excess of 78,000 individuals. These individuals appear to be dressed in clothing from a large cross-section of historical periods, so far determined to be as early as 500 AD and as recent as World War II-era military dress, and have been observed engaging in activity consistent with those of 5th century city life. Instances of SCP-1069-2 do not appear to be able to perceive or otherwise acknowledge the existence of living human subjects, even when attempting to communicate directly with particular instances. SCP-1069-3 is a specific female humanoid entity within SCP-1069-1, consistently described as having regal composure and being dressed in clothing consistent with that of 5th century nobility. SCP-1069-3 is capable of communicating and conversing with particular personnel, especially those with high levels of extrasensory sensitivity. SCP-1069-3 does not appear to be hostile or dangerous to Foundation personnel, but multiple personnel have described seeing unusual piscine or delphine features such as fins or a tail when SCP-1069-3 is in their peripheral vision, and on several occasions been the target of attempts to convince personnel to live within the city. SCP-1069 was discovered on 19 by a civilian archaeological expedition attempting to locate and explore underwater ruins near Redacted. Foundation agents embedded within the expedition called for backup following the disappearance of 3 civilian team members during initial contact and exploration. A containment team was successful in securing SCP-1069 and all surviving expedition members were administered a Class A amnestic and given a cover story.